Okay, somebody said, I have this question in an interview and I should explain as an ISO how to configure an information technology system. I said only make sure that the information system is configured correctly. The organization configuration policy, I only review the policy document, making sure that the compliance is followed. But the interviewer said, no, I should explain how I do configuration management on a new information system. Can you please help me with this question? I'm not sure where they're going with this, to be honest with you. I don't know what they want you to say. Can you explain configuration management? I can tell you what I would say. I don't know if it will be the right answer for this person who interviewed you, but configuration management, in my experience, has been a team effort. It's not one person show. So number one, normally configuration management, you have a request, configuration request. Something happens to where there's a change on a given system, right? Either it's the end of life system, we got to upgrade it, or there's a vulnerability, we got to fix these vulnerabilities, it's going to change the system. Or you have we call it configuration request. It's some sort of triggering thing that happens to where you must change the configuration of the system. And so configuration management is something to where it's not a ISO alone thing, right? It's an organizational thing. The organization as a whole has to make this decision. So normally it will go before a board. So the first thing that happens is something triggers this change. Let's say, for the sake of a specific example, that we have configuration change, right? Let's say, for example, like in our example of Windows 7, we have a Windows 7 Windows 7 systems, right? And those 7 Windows 7 systems have to be upgraded because Microsoft no longer supports those systems. That's our change. That's our configuration. That's our change request, that we have to change these 7 systems, right? So something triggers it. Then we go to usually you go to like a technical board, right? You go before a board of people, like you'll have stakeholders. You'll have your technical guys there who's going to do the work on it. They're critical. They have to be there. You'll have a manager who's going to make sure that everything is done on time and properly. You might have a program manager. Those guys that literally track everything that's going on, and it's based off like a Gantt chart and stuff. Well, it's based on time frames and dependencies and all that kind of stuff. But they're kind of rustling, pulling everybody together and stuff like that. So sometimes they're leading the meeting. Then you have like upper level managers, and these guys, they just kind of hang around on the call and listen in and make sure, okay, what's going on? All right, cool, So it's a team effort. Everybody comes. You have sometimes what's called a configuration, a CAB, or a configuration advisory board, and everybody's getting together. All these minds are getting together, and they're explaining what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and then the testing. Was testing successful? Was it not successful? Like that, right? So configuration management, from my experience, has been a team effort, and it goes to a CAB, and then the decision is made on if it'll happen at all, right? And then in the next meeting, they're like, okay, where are you at? Did you guys already change this part? Did you guys already do the testing? How'd the testing go? Was it good? It was good. It was great. Okay, the next meeting will be, okay, now we've already implemented this thing, and it's working on all the systems. All the systems are upgraded. We did have this or that problem, so we might have to revert these back to Windows 7 for a bit until we resolve this problem. So configuration management is something that happens with the organization as a whole. It's not something that you would do by yourself. And you said that I explained that the ISO, as an ISO, how to configure an information system. I said I only make sure the information system is configured correctly. So what I would have said is, me as an ISO, I'm a part of the team. I'm a stakeholder in the team. So what I'm doing is making sure when I'm listening in on, say, the configuration, so we're updating Windows 7, I just want to make sure that all the security controls are in place. Were all the security controls in place? Like, is everything good? Like, yes, I want to make sure that the system works, but my focus is on, are the security controls there? When we move from Windows 7 to Windows 10, when we do a scan, like, I'm going to be concerned with, do we do a scan before and after? Do we do a scan before? What are the vulnerabilities on it before? Okay, now that it's on a Windows 11 or Windows 10 or whatever, now let's do another scan. Let's look at the scan here. Let me look at the scan here and look at the scan before. Make sure that all the security controls are being met. I'm focused on that, right? And if I'm the person putting the security controls in, it's still the same. Still the same. I would have said something like that just to let them know, hey, I've been involved with the process before, and in my experience, that's what we do. We focus on the security features of the system when it's going to to change. I'm focused on the business impact analysis. What is the impact of the controls? When we put the controls on, does it affect the business? Can we still put the controls on there? If not, can we put compensating controls on there? Like, what can we do to protect this system? That's my main focus as an ISO when I'm sitting in these configuration management meetings. That's what I would have said. I hope that helps.